Hey, everyone! I'm Becca, he's Matt, and this is Becca's Book Club Adventure, Halloween edition. Today we're discussing everything autumn, Halloween, and spooky adjacent. Books, movies, food, all the things. But before we get in it, can you tell our listeners how to contact us, Matt?
Oh, you got it. First of all, to everybody, this is Edgar. He is our butler, and Becca's mother bought him for me for Christmas one year. She didn't get him for me for my birthday or Halloween, for Christmas, which I love. And we used him the year that Queen Elizabeth passed away. My wife Elizabeth dressed up as Queen Elizabeth. I dressed up as one of her dogs, and we had Edgar out on the driveway with us as our butler while we were passing out candy to the kids, and it was awesome. How to contact us. So I want to put it out there for anybody listening that contacting us could be pretty cool. Does anybody remember Sweet Shadow? He's a listener that commented, and I was like, whoa, send us an email. And we've been emailing back and forth for months now. He's an aspiring author, and he's a little bit amenable to coming onto the podcast with us here at some point in the nearish future. We were talking about, like, how does one write a book whilst holding down a 40+ hour a week job and having friends and family? It's like, I think that would be a really cool thing to talk about. So if you want to be like Sweet Shadow, all you got to do is hit us up. You can leave us a comment, you can throw us a review, or you can email us at bookclubbybecca@gmail.com, or even hit us up on Instagram. We are at Becca's Book Club Adventure. And I'll drop all of this down in the description below.
So where should we start with all things fall?
Well, let's just ask the general question. What is your favorite season of the year?
Okay, hot take. I would normally tell you fall, but I think I'm starting to learn that there's also just still too much work to do in the fall, and I think I love winter.
Is it like there's nothing to do outside because it's covered in snow, so you just come home?
No, I love the snow. I love the snow, and I love only sweating when I work out and not sweating because it's 90 degrees on an October day when it shouldn't be 90 degrees. I want to wear sweaters,
all right.
Matt, and I can't wear sweaters in the fall.
All right. One, I think some of that is due to the concept that I don't know if it's like climate change or if it's literally just enough years have passed where we've rotated around the sun. I think the months and the seasons have shifted, but yet we still keep the traditional months set to. So I hear you, and I counter it with a but. My favorite season is definitely fall, and I think we're coming into it. But I don't think fall is September, October, and November anymore. I think fall is like the second week or half of October through like the second week of December.
Yeah, through pretty much like Christmas Day.
Almost, yeah. I don't know, man. I love spooky stuff. I always did as a kid. I love scary movies. I think it's the most fun holiday to decorate for. And so you want to wear sweaters. My natural habitat is flannel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flannel. I love flannel. I love leggings. I like boots, even though I have calves that don't fit in boots.
Ooh, I also love fall because my favorite drink has to be alcoholic beverage, has to be scotch. And props to your dad for bringing scotch down to the beach every summer. But I cannot drink scotch in the summer. I want I want it when it's a little chilly outside.
Also, apple cider is an elite drink.
Yes. I have to admit, I'm refinding my appreciation for pumpkin beer.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Well, man, we went hard on pumpkin beer like
Um,
2012 to 2014, something like
I was
that.
gonna say sometime when I was, like, early college.
Um, like, I think that was about the time Southern Tier and Pumpkin exploded.
Yeah.
Um, and then society did it too hard. But we had all of the pumpkins and the warlocks and the just pumpkin beers and Oktoberfests, and I would use those beers to like do chili bake off, like cook offs with my friends, and I think we just got it like a little too hard. Um, but I think I'm enjoying it again, and part of that might be because I stopped off at Southern Tier Brewery on my
Had it
road
fresh
trip
from
that
the
we did.
tap.
Oh yeah, we got it straight draft. They had a caramel pumpkin.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And they had they called it Harvest. It's an autumn IPA. Not an Oktoberfest, but it was like really good. It tasted like an IPA but smelled sort of like like the homemade potpourri that you do in like the pan on the stove.
Mhm. Yeah.
It had that kind of a smell, but then tasted very fall, October. It was very cool. Anyways, that was fun, and I'm refining my appreciation for pumpkin beer. Love that.
Kinda makes me want some Fireball right now. Little Fireball and Angry Orchard.
That
That
is
brings
a
me back,
drink. Are you gonna like have a picture of that soon? When are we all coming down to Athens?
right?
Okay, so you prefer winter.
Yep.
Do you like Halloween?
I do like Halloween, but okay, so here's the thing with Halloween. I love it. I love, watching people. I love people putting a lot of effort into their costumes. I love all of that. I'm the moron who gets close to the holiday and goes, "Oh, I need a clever costume." I do not know how to be clever. And then I see all these ideas and I'm like, "Oh, I should have thought of that." I'm, ooh, not clever. So, I gave up a few years ago and I decided, if I can't be clever, I will be crafty. And Kevin and I will forever be hobbits. And so
Oh
I
yeah.
am learning to sew hobbit outfits. And so
Oh, you made that?
I made a cloak a few years ago. I made a corduroy vest for Kevin. I made a corduroy corset for myself. I made him pants this year in corduroy, brown corduroy. I'm making myself a skirt that fits the vibe. And then I learned how this is not handmade. I need to learn how to make a tunic next. So
Okay.
every year we're sewing a new article of clothing to fit the Hobbit vibes, and hopefully I'll build a whole wardrobe of Hobbitness to trade
That
in
is
with.
so cool. Okay, gotta ask, what do you do about your feet?
Yeah, that's where I stopped short. I have seen many videos on how to glue hair to your feet to make them look like Hobbit feet, and that sounds great. I'm so glad people are willing to do that. I really like wearing shoes, especially if kids are running around. Shoes are great.
So you living so close to a college town
Yeah,
who once upon a time at least was very much known for their
they're Halloween.
Halloween celebrations. Um, do you partake in any of that, or do you like guys like stay home in the neighborhood and the burbs?
So the nice thing, so the neighborhoods do trick or treat on Halloween, but then
Hmm.
the city puts on, like, they close the big block for Halloween on a Saturday, and they pick the Saturday or whatever, which is fun. Everything gets shut down. It's super walkable, super walk friendly. They've done a ton of work to also make it family friendly. And so it
Hmm.
starts like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And so Kevin and I will typically go out like 7 or 8 when things are starting to change. and
Yeah.
we get to see the plethora of things, and we brought the dog uptown before, which is always fun because you've met our dog.
Oh
Everyone will
yeah.
stop and talk to our dog, and then we get to ask them, "Oh, what's your costume? How'd you come up with it?" Like, those kinds of things. So, like, the people watching event is supreme because I love watching people,
Oh, that's so much fun.
which
I
sounds crazy
remember
from, like, a genuine place of, like, I just love watching people have enjoyment.
I remember partaking in those festivities when I was in college, and I'm trying to bring my mind in like, okay, Matt, you are an adult now. What would it be like to be there just talking to other adults and petting dogs and being sober mostly? And I don't think the town where I live really does any of that. Maybe I'm just misinformed, but we definitely get trick-or-treaters. It's super weird. So there's an elementary school right there. Like I can spit on that building if I wanted from this seat. So you would think there's a crap ton of little kids, but there's really not because most of the people that live around, it's about 60% of my neighbors are all retired. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't get a lot of trick or treaters, but that's kind of nice. Um, because then you can actually talk to the kids and ask them about their costumes when they come up. And it's actually pretty fun when I get the teenagers that come up because they're always teenage girls, groups of teenage girls. And they love the fact that Elizabeth and I always have like a couple costume. I remember one year, some girl, when they were walking away, she's like, when I get a boyfriend, I'm totally making him dress up with me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I'm like, oh, heaven help that little boy.
Trick or treating as an adult has been kind of fun, especially since like we don't have kids, right? And so like one of the things that I didn't fully appreciate or learn really growing up in the suburbs, but now I appreciate in a rural area, which you talking about had just made me think about the fact when you live in a really rural community, trick or treat is not a thing when your houses are miles apart. So, like
Yeah.
in our community, a lot of people talk about which neighborhoods you go to trick or treat. And like growing up in the
Mm,
suburbs, I definitely remember it was like once you got a little bit older, you're like, oh yeah, that neighborhood's rich. So you go to that neighborhood for the big candy bars.
yeah.
And now my brain was like, but Matt's neighborhood is perfect for young kids because you can go to a lot of places without having to go very far. Because I'm like the end of a cul-de-sac, and like after our cul-de-sac, there's no more lights. So it
Yeah.
gets really dark. So like usually I will pass out. I try to always pass out a non-food item if I can for kids. And typically I've been doing glow in the dark sticks because I'm like, well, at least you can take it to get to the back of the neighborhood if you want to go.
That's actually super fun. I always loved like kids are weird, right? When I was a kid, you get like the non candy stuff and you like pissed off.
Yeah,
But then you get to be a teenager and you're like, no, 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 no. I want the cool glow sticks. I want the cans of soda. I want the screw the candy. I'm going to get plenty of that.
right? I usually give out goldfish or like some non-sweet item, mostly because I'm like, well, if I get stuck with it, I can put it in my own lunchbox.
Oh man. Where do you usually source your goods from?
um, one year, yeah, it's been different every year.
Okay. I 100% just go to Costco and get the big bag of candy. I'm a lazy schmuck.
Yeah, understandable. If I could plan a Costco trip around it, I would.
But we do we used to. We used to go to the store and get like Primo candy and we would make up a bag and give a bag of it to the neighbors with kids near
Oh,
us.
yeah.
We haven't done that recently um, because hashtag the world is expensive. But you know,
Never ending, never ending being a human in this world.
okay. So Halloween, do you like cutesy stuff, scary stuff, or like uh, uh, cult following type stuff?
When you say cult following.
Okay. Because we're talking about Halloween, good distinction. I mean, sort of like The Big Lebowski was never a box office hit, but it had a cult following.
Mm.
Not actually joining a cult. Yeah. So like, do you like
What's the sisters?
the
The 3
hmm?
sisters? Oh, how am I
Oh,
forgetting right now?
Hocus Pocus?
Yes, I do
Hocus
love
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Okay. I throw them a little bit in the QT.
Yes, I was gonna say, I'm probably more cutesy Halloween. I want to like scary. Scary movies are too scary for Becca. She has nightmares when she watches Jurassic Park at 6, so that ruined scary movies for me, and I would like to point out, not a scary movie. Jurassic Park, not a scary movie.
I don't know. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Right? Like, the image of the carcass Christmas night is all I dreamt of. So, also, probably shouldn't watch movies like that right before a big night when you're supposed to sleep to get your presents. Probably not a wise decision. It was my brothers. Can't even blame my parents. Had some weird dreams that night. But I definitely on the cutesy side of things. I want to like scary, so I do like scarier books because then it's your own imagination. My imagination only takes me so far.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, I want to know like where you draw the line at scary. Like because there was the whole, especially in the 80s, there
Mhm.
was the whole slasher flick, and like they're kind of corny.
Yeah. So, like,
But are those do you consider those to be scary?
no. So, like, I've watched Blair Witch Project, which I did find a little scary at the time, but, like, now reflecting back, I'm like, "That's kind of fun." Um, so, like, something like that, like, the slasher movies probably I would enjoy now, but, like, I don't like gore. That's because like,
Yeah,
that is just a hard line for me, just healthcare oriented, I guess. I don't know. That's
sure.
the line. Um, I don't mind suspense, but it depends on what the suspense is around. Have you ever watched, like, an ethical drama or an ethical suspense?
Give me an example.
Oh, shoot. Of course, I don't have an example right now, but and there aren't that many ethical ones out there, but, like, that's when I learned I actually don't mind suspense. It just needs to not be, like, threatening spook scare
Ah, okay.
because I don't like loud sounds.
I I'm kind of an equal opportunity person, but I don't really go in for the gore stuff anymore. When I was in college, it was just if it's a gory movie, we have it. We got to watch it. So I own a lot of gory movies and I just don't watch them anymore. Um I really like the cutesy stuff. If there is like a Disney Channel Halloween movie, you bet your ass I'm watching that 3 times. Um on Halloween, we will watch Hocus Pocus every single year. Hell yeah. I love the 80s, the stupid 70s and 80s slasher. They're so corny. They're so shitty. Like Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. They're so horrible. But I think my favorite of the movies, and I didn't even give you this as an option, and I apologize, but I love a good Halloween comedy.
Ooh.
You, yes, we will be watching the original Ghostbusters. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Those are
Um, I really feel I also love like the monster movies. So, um think of like I don't know if you've seen the Underworld movies with Kate Beckinsale.
mm-mm.
Okay, Constantine, Hellboy, uh oh, they're so good. They're so awesome. Um
Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween or Christmas?
both. Yeah, both. Um I think it does better as a Christmas movie because it's not scary.
Maybe that's why I love it as a Halloween movie because I don't
There
have
you
many
go.
Halloween movies to like.
Um, okay, so funny movies. You gotta watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2 at the minimum. You have I loved watching the Scream movie franchise. Um and so off of that you gotta watch Scary Movie. That's ridiculous. The Cabin in the Woods. That is a great movie. It it's a little scary, but it essentially just makes fun of every single scary movie trope ever. It's
Mhm.
hilarious. Um,
Isn't that the one that has, like, 9 different iterations at this point?
The Cabin in the Woods, no, I think it was a one and
No.
done,
No, I meant
actually.
Scary Movie.
Oh, Scary Movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does, but only watch the first one. The others are ridiculous. And then Dale and Tucker Must Die. There's 1 and 2 of those, and they are absolutely hilarious. Um, those movies are like kids go into the woods and they trespass on Dale and Tucker's property, and Dale and Tucker are just like stupid idiot rednecks. They're not trying to hurt anybody, and there's just a series of accidents and the kids start dying and everybody thinks it's Dale and Tucker, and it's so funny.
Ruh-roh.
Um love all of those. You asked about Nightmare Before Christmas
Mhm.
being, let's talk about books. What makes a book Halloween esque? Like the movies are.
I think if it plays into traditional tropes of different character sets, so, like, anything that's witch themed and
Okay.
feels, like, Salem witch themed as
Okay.
opposed to, like, Iron Claw witch theme, if you will,
Sure.
makes
Okay.
it Halloweeny to me, especially if there's themes of death in it.
So I can get with you on that. I think for the book to be, it's got to take place somewhere around the autumnal equinox or
Mhm.
All Souls Day or something like that. It's got to be at the right time period and have those tropes.
Yep.
I think that's what does it really for me. Do you look for anything in particular in those types of books, or do you just read?
I just read. I will say this is also when I will pick out a rom-com that is a witch because 'cause I'm like, that fits
Ooh,
the narrative really nicely, and I forget which one I read recently, but it was definitely, like, more of a romantic book, not a fantasy book, but the
okay.
main character just happened to be a witch and very light on the powers. But it was around Halloween, she had to save the world on Halloween,
Of course she did. That's fantastic. I love it.
right?
Do you have any books that like come to mind that you would recommend people to read?
There's nothing that, like, I read every fall that makes me think fall.
Okay. I started a book very recently. Like I am 25% of the way into it, but it might be the coolest. Oh, there's a bunny on my patio. But it might be, sorry, squirrel. It might be the coolest like Halloween-esque book ever. It's like taking place just around the autumnal equinox in New Salem, because old Salem was original Salem was burned to the ground in this world when it was
Mm.
purged of witches. And the three sisters that make up this book are trying to rediscover witchcraft and bring it back for the masses.
Ah.
um Really cool. It's called The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro.
Dun, dun, dun.
I wonder how much advertising that author's going to get from me.
Yeah.
um Not very much, considering nobody watches this, but um
I'm reading a cute little story right now. It's a little novella called A Little Familiar, and it's about witches and their familiars.
mhm.
And it is a true novella, which has been part of my struggle with getting through it because there's no chapters. It is
Okay.
100 pages straight of of there's just no breaks in it, which is a
So
choice.
how does this one treat familiars? Because I know there's like two camps, right? On the one camp, like familiars are scary. They're demonic beings that just happen to be encapsulated in some type of animal. Um, and then on the other half, it's like a almost more of like a spiritual guide that is able to enhance the witch, I
Yep.
guess, or sorcerer's abilities and guide them towards the right thing.
It's camp 2 for sure, and it's super kind of cute and fun. So the main male witch that we're following, they talk about how they're really powerful, and sometimes when they're really powerful and they don't take a familiar, they lead a very lonely life. And so he's worried he's on the path for a very lonely life, and so is the coven, and the coven just wants to send him love.
Oh,
And he is in his ancestral home that his crazy aunt haunts.
oh, nice.
And he has been bequeathed with like his aunt and his grandmother's familiars. So he has this bird
Love
that
it.
hangs out with him
Okay.
that's not his. And anywho, familiars can also be people. And so
Oh,
his coven is sending this person to go hang out with him, who was born to witches, but is not a witch, doesn't have powers, and wants to be a familiar to help support. And so I'm gonna guess they fall in love.
this is kind of cute.
It's super cute. They're like getting pumpkin spice lattes.
Is it like is this a standalone novella or is it like the prequel to some series?
I think it's a standalone novella, and it
I
is just
love it. I love it.
adorable.
That's adorable.
This super powerful witch, like, all he wants to do is make sure that his harvest is nice and strong to feed the people that don't know that he's a witch.
uh I love it. I love a good I think I'm going to blame you for this. This is 1000% your fault. I love a good love story. It just warms your heart,
Yep, yep. I'm
gives you
just on a path of
all the
100 pages
feels.
of cute.
Is there anything in a Halloween-esque book that would like turn you off that you'd be like that's a no-go for me? And again, this is a book, not a movie.
Um, I feel like I've never encountered a book that's particularly gory, but I guess graphic, really graphic design of, like, mm, yeah, just more just, like, graphic discussion of a murder, but
Okay.
I've never encountered that probably because I am not looking for it.
I think I've decided that on my end, I don't think I'm a huge fan of borderline forced intimacy.
Mm,
Like I get that in at least in the books that I've read, there's always consent. Somehow there's always consent.
mhm.
But like is there, Um and I get that that's a fantasy for some people, you know. Um but I just don't think my heart is in that. I think that's a little bit of a turnoff for me.
That's where I've struggled with the 2nd book, The Coven.
Oh yeah. The Coven and then the Cursed.
Yeah, The Cursed.
Yeah. That
It's a little too will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? I'm like, "Listen, either become the devil's wife and embrace that power or murder him."
it's I get it. I just it's a little much and it's I don't know. It's
So I haven't DNF'd, but I have paused.
I have not DNF'd a single book for a couple of years now.
That's
I
impressive.
just I just force myself to read all of them because like the only way like I guess this is kind of my philosophical brain, my academic brain, but I just feel like the only way I'm going to fully appreciate the books that I read is if I have the most amount of comparison.
Yeah,
Um, whether that's right or wrong, I have no idea, but I guess that's the attitude that I have decided to take.
it's a fair attitude. My brain is just like, "Oh, well, I could read, or I could sew a new project, go for a run, do this, do that." And so suddenly, I realize it's been a few weeks since I've read, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe it's because I don't like that book. Let's try a new
Yeah.
one."
I just like reading books. I just like words. I like all the words except for the forced consent words, I guess. Um, we were talking about movies at one point.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a favorite Halloween-esque movie?
It's definitely gotta be Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus?
I do watch that every year. Halloween Town also makes it there.
Oh man. The first one. The first one's good. Don't watch
Cute.
the other ones. Don't.
Yeah. No, that ruins the fun, but the first one's cute.
When I was in college, I was obsessed with the Saw movies.
Mm,
And I
not
remember, I think it was my freshman year of college, the third one came out. And I went down State Street and I watched the third one in theaters, and the theater doesn't exist anymore.
nope.
Um, and then I ended up writing a paper for some honors English class that I was in about the Saw trilogy, is what I called it at the time. Who knew that there was going to be like 9 of those damn things? Um, and I can't watch that stuff anymore. I think if I have to pick my favorite Halloween movie, I wrote these questions down, and I don't even have answers for some of them. Damn.
I like these questions you have at the end here. So do you
Oh
consider
yeah.
Harry Potter to be a Halloween movie?
I do not. Do you?
No, but I do like watching them in the fall.
Mm-hmm. What about the Twilight series?
Didn't Twilight come out in the spring? I feel like the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd think of them as spring. They're not like a
Okay.
seasonal movie, but no, I don't consider them Halloween.
Elizabeth wants to know this one. Oh, also, I agree with you on the Twilight, I should say. But Elizabeth wants to know about, do you consider Lord of the Rings to be Halloween?
I think we all know that Lord of the Rings is a holiday movie, specifically Christmas in my household.
I I looked at Elizabeth and I was like, why does this question even enter your brain? She's like, I don't know, there's a wizard and elves and there's magic things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, but like, what? Is
But
there
also,
anybody out there that considers Lord of the Rings to be a Halloween movie?
I could
Let us know.
I could see it, but also I need 12 hours to dedicate a whole day, and also I am dreaming of serving a 12-course meal for this, okay? I really want to. Top tier,
Um, I would enjoy that. I like.
right? Right? I think I would have so much fun putting together a 12-meal course to go with the stages of the movies.
I think that would be super fun. I would help you cook, and if you don't need help cooking, I would definitely help clean for sure. For sure. I think Lord of the Rings was even released in theaters somewhere between Christmas and New Year's.
I think so.
I
Somewhere in
think
that,
so.
like, people are off, taking
Yeah.
time.
What is So there's a whole host of like classic Halloween stories out there. Do you like any of those? I'm talking like Frankenstein, uh Dr. Jekyll, like and Mr. Hyde. I'm talking Sleepy Hollow,
Count Dracula.
Count Dracula.
I don't know that I'm familiar enough with a lot of them.
Okay.
Um, is it Nosferatu? Nos Nos? I
Nos
cannot say it.
Nosfer well, now that you can't say it, I can't say it. I had it in my head, and then you started speaking it out loud.
Anywho, a new one came out last year, and that is something that's kind of on my bucket list to go.
Nosferatu.
Thank you.
Nosferatu. Hell yeah.
Is on my bucket list to go watch and enjoy.
Okay.
Half of this issue is, like, finding the content anymore, right? Because like, we don't have cable TV, and I only have so many subscriptions, and I haven't purchased some of these things, which I'm happy to pay for content. I'm now of the part where I get it, I understand it, happy to pay.
I am not happy to pay anymore. I've become annoyed with streaming services
Oh,
because
not for streaming, I'm happy to pay for the individual item so that I can
oh, okay.
give the authors who actually put all the work in.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Uh,
But
um,
I don't even have, like, something to watch a DVD. Well, that's a lie. I can watch a DVD on my computer, but on my computer.
dude, I think the first time I felt old was when Elizabeth and I brought a whole bunch of DVDs to y'all's house for Christmas one year, and Kevin looked at us and he was like, "What are those?" He's like, "We don't play those here." I'm like, "Whoa, dude."
Yep.
Um, so as an American, no, okay, okay, I was looking into our analytics,
Yeah?
like 10, somewhere between 10 and 15% of our viewership is not American, not North American either. So
That's wild.
I know, right? Um, so I'm just gonna couch as an American, I think that the most classic and iconic Halloween stuff. I'm down to two. Firstly, Sleepy Hollow. And yes, I love the Johnny Depp movie, but if you have ever read Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, it is amazing. Washington Irving is, I think he wrote most of his stuff in the late 1700s. He was like essentially the inventor of the American folk story.
Oh.
And Sleepy Hollow is just a short story that he wrote, and it is amazing. I have a huge book of just his collected works if you ever wanted to read just Sleepy Hollow. But um, and I love the Johnny Depp movie. I think that that one's great. And otherwise, I have to go with Edgar Allan Poe.
That's what I was just about to say. Everything you were making me think of made me think of Edgar Allan Poe, but I've read, like, 4 poems, so
If you want to read more, I can bring his collected works to your house.
yeah, I should. I'm old enough now where I really need to start reading more.
Yeah, his stuff is so gothic. I think of Edgar Allan Poe as the inventor of American Gothic literature. I don't know if that's an accurate statement, but that's how I feel about it. I don't think you can get any more authentically Gothic than that. I don't know of his stuff having been turned into any movies though.
That would be wild and fascinating. Even
Um,
like, like a music video version of his stuff would be wild.
yeah, I think that would be really cool. Um, Even I think if you made a movie, like a full-length movie that's just about Edgar Allan Poe, sort of like how I think it was Heath Ledger was in it. It was like a movie about the Grimm brothers. That's a really good movie, by the way. I don't remember. It was like 2014 or maybe even 2004. Um, but that one's really, really good. It's set back in the like 1600s in Germania, or whatever, and it's essentially the Grimm brothers collected their stories by actually fighting the monsters and encountering the maidens and stuff like that. So
That would be wildly entertaining.
it's a fun movie. I don't own it, but I've watched it streaming. I should own that one. That one's really good. And I don't think it would be a complete Halloween discussion if we didn't talk about Stephen King.
Mhm.
So, first question, have you read any of Stephen King's books?
So I think we might have started this podcast talking about how I took a really large break from reading because my mom kept recommending murder mysteries, and I don't like murder mysteries. And my mom, I think, has read every single Stephen King novel. And listen, I'm not
Oh,
here to debate his wonderfulness as an author. No, I have not read any of his work.
okay. Um, have you seen any of the movies based upon any of his works? If you need some movie titles, we're talking like Pet Cemetery, It, The Shining, Carrie.
I think I've seen, is Carrie animated?
No.
No. I was thinking of Caroline. Um, and maybe I've seen it.
Okay. There's two movies of It. There was a new one that came out just a couple years ago. It's like the demon clown.
I feel like now that I say that I've seen it, I think I've seen clips of it because I do think
Okay.
that categorizes as scary, and therefore I haven't actually watched it.
Um, okay. I and I was actually just emailing Sweet Shadow about this recently. So Sweet Shadow was emailing us about like Stephen King is this might not be an exact accurate statement, but I got the feeling that Stephen King is one of, if not the favorite author for this guy. And that really surprised me because Stephen King is definitely not a favorite author of mine. I have a very love-hate relationship with Stephen King. Um, but Sweet Shadow was telling me that as a European, Stephen King is like the author that allows him to be 100% immersed in American culture. And I thought that that was a fascinating statement because I either love a Stephen King book or I am annoyed by a Stephen King book. Um, I think most of my DNFs have been Stephen King books, if I'm going to be honest with you. But then he's written some amazing, like, okay, The Shining might be one of the best like horror stories ever. And Carrie is just iconic. And I think Carrie was the book that put him on the map. I think I read a story that his wife found a crumpled up manuscript of a book in the trash and pulled it out and was like, "Honey, why did you throw this away?" And he's like, I don't know enough about this to keep to finish." She goes, "You should just finish it. Just at least finish it." And then he published Carrie, which is the like the prom queen that like kills. And anyways, really that's really good. And Pet Cemetery is iconic and It is an iconic. I would be very curious if anybody that's listening to this, do you like Stephen King? Why do you like Stephen King? Why do you not like Stephen King? Because very clearly, Becca, it's a no-go for a whole host of reasons that have nothing to do with his writing style. And for me, it's very love and hate. I don't know. I but he's like the dude, right? So somebody leave a comment down below. That's yeah. And I don't know if there's any more questions. Do you think I skipped anything? Is there any
I don't
questions
think
you
so.
have?
I think it's, time to put a bookmark in it.
Sounds good. Um, is it time to start our new buddy read?
I think so.
Okay. Well, since you picked the book backslash series that we're about to read, do you wanna tease it for everybody a little bit?
Ooh, I should have read the descriptor. All right. It took over book talk phenomenon. So obviously, as a podcast that is super late to the game, we got to catch up by reading a book that was probably popular 3 years ago. So we are going to read Light Lark
Mhm.
by Alex Astor. Every 100 years, the island of Light Lark appears to host the Centennial, a deadly game that the rulers of 6 realms are invited to play. The invitation is a summons, all, a call to embrace victory and ruin, babbles and blood. The Centennial offers the 6 rulers one final chance to break the curse that has plagued the realms for centuries. Each ruler has something to hide. Each realm's curse is uniquely wicked. To destroy the curse, one ruler must die. Dun dun dun. So, I think it's perfect for a good fall read.
I agree. It's question. Have you been let down by book talk more than you have uh been satisfied by book talk?
By the recommendations of Book Talk or by the experience of Book Talk?
By the recommendations. Yeah.
Um, I have not had issues with the recommendations so far, but I think that's because I cannot consume the same amount of media that these book talkers do.
Yeah, I agree.
Props to them. I'm so jealous. Yeah. So I have to like wait because I can only consume so much.
I think that's the decision I've made. So I am not a huge fan of these book talk people. And I think it's because I think a lot of them actually make their living from doing this, or at least make enough money for it to be considered a side hustle. And so I think that they promote books that they haven't fully read or they don't fully understand. And I think a lot of the time it gives off really shitty expectations.
Mm.
Like they're either way, way too high or they're just wrong. So I have started unfollowing some of them and I've decided that I'm going to find the books when I find the books. And
Yeah.
I get to go to them with like a blank slate.
I think this is why libraries are so critical
Yeah.
because libraries will recommend things in so many different genres so that if there's something that you're drawn to, those librarians are super supportive in helping you find more content like that without
Yeah.
their own personal biases of like, this is what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. I hashtag save our libraries. I don't want
Yeah.
this to be a political podcast, but I will go political on libraries. Save our libraries. If
They're a
you
huge.
if you if you want to get rid of all of the computer and printing access inside the libraries, frickin' I guess whatever, but gotta keep the books, man. Keep the books.
Think libraries should be an opportunity to access any resource for sale. We even have a tool library in our community, which I think is so phenomenal.
What is that?
You do have to pay a membership for this one because it's not like a library, but like it's a like yard tools, woodworking tools,
Oh,
all sorts of tools like not power drills, that's a bad example, but like
that is
tools that like
cool.
you wouldn't buy because you only need it one time and they're like thousands of dollars. You can rent them from the tool library.
I love that. I want one. I have to go to your dad. Your dad is my tool library.
My dad is a tool library.
Ah, okay. I like it. I like it a lot. That it? We put a cap on it?
Let's put a cap on it.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.